economic system. Economic system refers to the manner in which individual and institutions interconnected, how they are interconnected in order to perform the economic activities. So we have seen in the previous class itself there is a difference between economic activities and non-economic activities. So social welfare is, of course, under social welfare we have to spend money for health, for the promotion of health, education and everything. Then it becomes economic activity. Okay, so you should be able to differentiate what is an economic activity and a non-economic activity. Okay, so the manner in which individual firms and organizations are connected together in order to perform economic activities. Accordingly, the economic systems are divided into capitalism, socialism and mixedism, that is mixed economy. So capitalism is nothing but private ownership, that is all the means of production are owned by the individuals. Under socialism, all the means of production are owned by public. So both capitalism and socialism are extreme and opposite. They are opposite to each other. Okay, capitalism is private ownership of means of production. Socialism is public ownership of means of production. Mixed economy, coexistence of both capitalism as well as socialism. So capitalism economy is otherwise called free market economy. So father of capitalism is Adam Smith. You know who is the father of economics? Adam Smith is the father of economics. Father of capitalism is also Adam Smith. Okay, then now we are going to know about extended capitalism. That is nothing but the term, the globalism is called extended capitalism. You know what is globalization? That is bringing all the countries together in under one market. So this globalism is a term that has been introduced by Manfred D. Steiger in the years of 2002, very recently only. It is a new market ideology of globalization. Globalism is a new market ideology of globalization. That is, you know what is globalization? Bringing all the countries together through trade. Okay, now you forget about this globalism and globalization. Okay, now we go to the term, proper term, capitalism. Okay, what are the features of capitalism? Okay, what are the advantages of capitalism and what are the disadvantages of capitalism? Features, of course, private ownership of means of production. That is all land, capital, mines, industries, everything will be owned by the private individuals. So the government does not interfere on the economic activities. That is we call laissez-faire economy, less interference by the government. That is the main first feature of capitalism. And freedom of choice and enterprise. First one is private ownership of properties and means of production. All means of production are owned by the private individuals. Government does not interfere on the economic activity. It is a free market economy. That is market forces alone. Only the operations of demand and supply will help to fix up the price in the market. Okay, so in the beginning, in the starting, I told you that the market forces, that is J.B. Say's law of market, supply will be equalized. Okay, supply creates its demand, he said. So that means supply should be equal to demand. So the point at which where supply and demand intersects, price of the commodity is fixed. That's what they say. Price mechanism is another feature of capitalism. Okay, and next one is profit motive. Profit motive is the driving force under capitalism. So all the means of production are owned by the private individuals and they produce goods and services for making only profit, not for welfare motive. But under socialism, goods and services are produced for welfare motive, on welfare motive, not on profit motive. That is capitalism and socialism are opposite. Okay. So first one is private ownership of means of production, and second one is freedom of choice and enterprise. That is, consumers have the freedom to choose the commodities whatever they like in the market. Okay, so only when the consumers like to buy a commodity, they will buy the commodities. They have the freedom to choose. But under socialism, it is not like that. Within the means of the production, what the government directs the firms to produce goods and services alone will be sold out in the market. Okay. So for capitalism, you have many countries. Example, we have USA, West Germany, Australia and Japan are capitalist countries. Okay. Are you able to understand capitalism a little? First one is private ownership of means of production. They have the, individuals have the right to own as much properties as they like according to their capacity. Okay. When we study limitation, we will study that. That is, only the rich become richer and poor become poorer. Okay. So now you study only the features. First one is private ownership of means of production. Second one, freedom of choice of commodities and enterprise. Okay. Any individual, if they want to have any firm, that is, if they want to engage themselves in production, they have the freedom to start their production. They need not wait for the order from the government. Okay. If they feel that the commodities that are produced by them can be sold out in the market and earn profit, they can produce. That is because profit motive is the driving force under capitalism. We have seen three features, isn't it? And then fourth one is free competition. Free competition means there are two markets we have studied in first year itself, factor market as well as commodities market. Under goods market, goods are produced and sold out. There is a free market. Under factor market also, under factor market, what is sold out? Factors of production are sold out. So the entrepreneurs will buy factors of production from that factor market. So buying and selling. Okay, they are free to buy and free to sell any commodities. Okay, so free market mechanism both in factor market as well as in the commodity market. And price mechanism, I have told you, price is fixed according to the market forces of demand and supply. And role of government is very minimum, and there is inequalities among the people. Some people become very rich, some people become very poor. These are the salient features of capitalism. So based on this, you can derive advantages of this capitalism. That is automatic working, that is freedom. Freedom gives them, and they are driven by the profit motive. So what happen? Automatically goods are produced by using the means of production that are owned by individuals, and they are sold out in the market and they make profit out of it. So what happens? Automatically the economy will work. So two major economic activities are production and consumption only. So production is done automatically. So automatically consumption is also made. So consumers have the freedom to choose. So they can choose the commodity and buy the commodities. So entrepreneurs can earn profit, consumers can get satisfaction. Because if they buy the commodities what they want, they get maximum, they derive maximum satisfaction. So both the activities are taken place in the free market economy. This is an advantage, automatic working. It is called automatic mechanism, automatic working. And all the resources are efficiently used, efficient use of resources. It is because the aim of the entrepreneur is to sell the commodity. So he will use the commodity, use the resources efficiently. Okay. So optimum utilization is also done under capitalism. Okay, resources are not, resources are utilized and advanced technology is applied. So to the optimum level resources are used. There is efficient use of resources. And then there is incentives for hard work. There is self-interest. That's what Adam Smith spoke about, that self-interest under capitalism. Entrepreneurs, because they earn profit, they go for hard work. because they are getting profit out of it. But under socialism, what happened? Private individuals don't earn profit, so they are not motivated. That self-interest is absent in socialism, but here self-interest is present. So what happens? What happened? They are driven by profit motive, so they produce more goods and services. They get incentive for their hard work. That is called incentive for hard work. Additional profits, they are called incentives. And then economic progress. Production, all the resources are used up, so economy will progress. Okay, and consumers, they have the freedom to choose the commodity, so consumer sovereignty is maintained. They have the freedom to choose. If they want, they can buy. If they don't want, they need not buy. Okay, and the higher rates of capital formation, it is because private individuals have the right to own more properties. So what happened? Capital formation. Capital is nothing but what is being taken from the property owned by the individuals. So higher rates of capital formation is there, and the development of new techniques. They can buy advanced level of techniques.